Nigeria's Dangote refinery caught between promise and reality. When will gasoline from Nigeria tycoon Aliko Dangote's mega-refinery finally flood the home market? That's the question Nigerians are asking as Africa's most populous country battled chronic petrol shortages. Again ranked Africa's richest man by Forbes this year, says he is awaiting the green light from the state-run Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC, the only entity that buys gasoline for the domestic market. The National Oil Company has talked about a date of September 15th. The Mammoth plant, the continent's largest refinery with a full capacity of 650,000 barrels per day, is supposed to be an economic game changer by covering all domestic fuel needs. The refinery in Lekki, on the outskirts of the economic capital, Lagos, faced multiple startup delays but was inaugurated in May last year. It has promised to resolve the Nigerian contradiction that sees Africa's largest oil producer and an OPEC member having to rely on costly gasoline imports to keep cars running because of lack of refineries. Yet, as the deadline for Dangote fuel to reach market approaches, optimisms appear to be fading. Just as Nigerians were already struggling with high living costs, they were hit with a surprise 45% increase in petrol prices by the state-run company. NNPC did not respond to an AFP request for comment. These are policy issues that have to be jointly agreed between us and NNPC, a Dangote spokesperson said about talks on getting the fuel to market. For now, let's keep our fingers crossed. Market realities. The other big question is how much Dangote's petrol will cost Nigerians. The issue of pricing is the biggest elephant in the room. Analyst Ayotunde Abiodun of Nigeria firm SBN Intelligence said. Many Nigerians reasonably expect that the Dangote refinery's supply of refined products should come at a cheaper price, he added, pointing to the refinery theoretically cutting out import costs. But market realities, such as global oil prices, the cost of oil supplies and refining margins, make that unlikely, at least in the short term, he said. Dangote must also cover production costs and repay the debt used to build the giant refinery. It will most likely prioritize markets where it can make higher profit margins and sell some gasoline outside the country, Abiodun said. When he came to power in May 2023, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu officially ended the costly fuel subsidy that had kept petrol prices low for decades. Investors welcomed the reform, but the price of petrol for Nigerians then tripled. The NNPC has admitted continuing to subsidize petrol, an untenable situation for a company with debt of $6 billion. To cover its cost, Dangote will have to sell its petrol to the NNPC at the international market price around 1,100 naira, according to Ademola Henry Adegun of AHA Consultancies. The government will have to pay the difference between this price and the price at the pump unless it increases the fuel price again, Adegun said. But that would be very difficult for the population and could cause riots, he added. Monopoly. It is not guaranteed that the launch of Dangote gasoline will end shortages, SPM's Abiodun cautioned. He said NNPC, which is the sole intermediary between the Dangote refinery and the Nigerian fuel market, faces a lot of inefficiencies that have questioned its competence. It might not be able to guarantee a continuous supply of crude to the refinery, which would force the Dangote refinery to import crude that is more expensive, he said. Dangote could then favor selling on foreign markets to ensure better margins, he added. Nigerian oil production has declined in recent years to less than 1.2 million barrels per day in 2023, a far cry from the government target of 2 million barrels per day. The issue of crude oil supply of the mega-refinery has already been the subject of tensions between Dangote and the Nigerian authorities. Dangote has criticized the NNPC for not providing necessary quantities, forcing him to turn to international companies that sell a barrel of crude for $3 to $4 more than the national company. Oil traders, meanwhile, fear that Dangote will create a monopoly where it is the only source of petrol, undermining their businesses. Dangote's spokesperson dismisses such a situation arising. Any attempt to disrupt a system that has worked in a certain way for a very long time was always going to meet significant resistance from those benefiting from that system, Clementine Wallop of Horizon Engage Consultancy said. But in the meantime, many Nigerian drivers still face an hours-long wait to fill up their tanks. In the meantime, Ukraine strikes Moscow in biggest drone attack to date. Ukraine struck the Moscow region on Tuesday in its biggest drone attack so far on the Russian capital, killing at least one woman, wrecking dozens of homes and forcing about 50 flights to be diverted from airports around Moscow. Russia, the world's biggest nuclear power, said it had destroyed at least 20 Ukraine's attack drones as they swarmed over the Moscow region, which has a population of more than 21 million and 124 more over 8 other regions. At least one person was killed near Moscow, Russian authorities said. 3 of Moscow's 4 airports were closed for more than 6 hours and almost 50 flights were diverted. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that the drone attack was another reminder of the real nature of Ukraine's political leadership, which he said was made up of Russia's enemies. There is no way that nighttime strikes on residential suburbs can be associated with military action, said Peskov. The Kyiv regime continues to demonstrate its nature. They are our enemies and we must continue the special military operation to protect ourselves from such actions, he said, using the expression Moscow uses to describe its war in Ukraine. Kyiv said Russia, which sent tens of thousands of troops into Ukraine in February 2022, had attacked it overnight with 46 drones, of which 38 were destroyed. The drone attack on Russia damaged high-rise apartment buildings in the Ramenskoye district, setting flats on fire, residents told Reuters. A 46-year-old woman was killed and 3 people were wounded in Ramenskoye, Moscow Regional Governor Andrei Voyobrov said. Residents said they awoke to blasts of fire. I looked at the window and saw a ball of fire, Alexander Lee, a resident of the district, said. Georgie, a resident who declined to give his surname, said he heard a drone buzzing outside his building in the early hours. I drew back the curtain and it hit the building right before my eyes. I took my family and we ran outside. The Ramenskoye district, 50 kilometers southeast of the Kremlin, has a population of 250,000, according to official data. More than 70 drones were also downed over Russia's Bryansk region and 10 more over the regions, Russia's defense ministry said. As Russia advances in eastern Ukraine, Kyiv said taking the war to Russia with a cross-border attack into Russia's western Kursk region. In the meantime, police shoot dead Lesotho national wanted for multiple crimes. A 30-year-old suspect was fatally shot during a confrontation with the police on Sunday evening, September 8th. The Northern West Police spokesperson Brigadier Sabata Mokwabode said that the police were acting on a tip-off about the suspect's location and tracked him to a tavern in Mokwase. As the police arrived at the scene, the suspect allegedly opened fire at the police officers who responded by returning fire, fatally wounded him. The deceased, who is a Lesotho foreign national, was found in possession of a firearm that was reported stolen in Linden, Gauteng province, said Mokwabone. The deceased had been wanted for multiple crimes, including attempted murder, robbery, and assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm committed between January 2023 and July 2024 in Zone 8, Mokwase. He also had 2 pending murder cases pending from incidents that took place in July 2023 in Robeka village and Kopeng near Rustenburg. The Independent Police Investigative Directorate IPID is currently handling the case and making further investigations. The Provincial Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Selo Kwena stated that the police will not be intimidated and will defend themselves when attacked, warning that anyone who shoots at police should expect the same in return. In the meantime, Gaza rescuers say 10 killed in Israeli strike on schools. An Israeli airstrike Wednesday hit a central Gaza school, with the Hamas-run territory's civil defense agency reporting 10 killed in the facility turned displacement shelter, and the military saying it had targeted militants. The vast majority of the Gaza Strip's 2.4 million people have been displaced at least once by the war, triggered by Hamas' October 7th attack on Israel, with many seeking safety in school buildings. Israeli forces have struck several such schools in recent months, saying Palestinian militants were operating there and hiding among displaced civilians, charges denied by Hamas. The Al-Janwi school in central Gaza, Nuseirat, already hit several times during the war, was struck again on Wednesday, Civil Defense Agency spokesman Mahmoud Basal told AFP. There are 10 martyrs, including women and children, in the Israeli bombing of Al-Janwi school, he said, also reporting a number of wounded. AFP was unable to independently verify the toll. The Israeli military said its Air Force had conducted a precise strike on terrorists who were operating inside the Hamas Command and Control Center on the school grounds, without elaborating on its outcome or the identities of those targeted. The Hamas government media office said about 5,000 displaced people were sheltering at the school, which used to be run by the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, UNRWA, when it was hit on Wednesday. Al-Janwi has been hit at least 5 times in more than 11 months of war, Basal said. In July, at least 16 people were killed in an Israeli airstrike the military said had targeted terrorists. Israel's military offensive since the October 7th attack has killed at least 41,084 people in Gaza, according to the territory's health ministry. The UN Rights Office says most of the dead are women and children. The Hamas attack on southern Israel that triggered the war resulted in the deaths of 1,205 people, mostly civilians, according to the AFP tally based on official Israeli figures, which also includes hostages killed in captivity. And lastly, call for submissions for the Honor Talents Global Design Awards 2024. Global technology brand Honor, in partnership with the National Youth Development Agency NYDA, is excited to announce the launch of the 2024 Honor Talents Global Design Awards. This prestigious competition is a golden opportunity for young, aspiring artists and designers from South Africa to showcase their creativity on a global stage. With over 2 million rand in total prize money, the competition aims to discover and celebrate exceptional talents, offering them a unique platform to excel. The contest is committed to bringing together those at the forefront of youth art, providing a space for innovation, creativity, and artistic expression. The participants will have a chance to not only win substantial prizes, but also gain exposure through global exhibitions, with selected works being developed as owner products. Context schedule: 1. September 2nd, submissions open. 2. September 30th, submissions declined. 3. Mid-October, review and judging. 4. Late November, awards announcement. 5. Over 200 million in total prizes. 6. Global exhibition exposure. 7. Works developed as owner products. 8. Earth and Tech China tour. Owner talents have conducted art exhibitions in Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Chengdu, Berlin, and other cities to showcase owner talents, works to consumers, international organizations, embassy and consulate personnel, and partners. The collaboration between owner and NIDA underscores the importance of nurturing young talent and providing them with opportunities to flourish in the art and design industries. We believe in the power of creativity and the potential it holds to shape the future. This competition is our way of investing in the next generation of designers and offering them a platform to shine, said Fred Zhu, owner, South Africa CEO. How to enter. Young artists and designers are encouraged to submit their work by September 30th, 2024. For more information on submission guidelines and contest details, please check the link below in the description and contact owner talents at nida.gov.za for additional information. The competition announcement comes off the back of the meeting between owner chairman and President Cyril Ramaphosa in Shenzhen, China, last week, where the chairman highlighted owner's significant achievements in South Africa. This momentous occasion underscores owner's steadfast commitment to global expansion and innovation. During his address, the chairman conveyed how owner is actively engaged in several impactful initiatives locally, including participation in the Youth Employment Program to create job opportunities for young people, partnering with the NIDA to launch the Owner Global Youth Program, and collaborating with local NPOs of the Code with Owner program to enhance digital literacy in remote areas and promote digitalization efforts. The chairman also emphasized Owner's dedication to being one of the most trusted high-tech companies in South Africa, contributing positively to local investments, employment, and social responsibility. And that's it from Egypt's Africa. Stay tuned to USA and political updates.